Hello, truth seekers. Welcome to Cruise TV, your #1 YouTube channel that provides you with facts, with zero to very minimal errors. To better understand how humor can help us even in the most challenging situations, it is worth taking a look at our inner life. Jokes and humor in general play with our expectations. We see or hear something and hypothesize how the situation will develop. The punchline of the joke undermines, at best, our expectations and surprises us. The outside of the left brainstem allows us to understand the joke. If we get the punchline, the limbic system becomes active, i.e., the area of the brain in which emotions are processed. The amygdala then signals us that we are amused. Depending on the extent of the amusement, our brain's control station for emotional outbursts forwards the signal to our vocal cords, diaphragm, and facial muscles. Then we laugh. Laughter triggers further processes in our body. On the one hand, it significantly lowers the level of the stress hormones cortisol and adrenaline, and on the other hand, when we laugh, happiness hormones such as endorphins and dopamine are released. With humor, we can handle stress better and feel generally happier. Numerous studies have confirmed the positive effect of humor on our health and well-being. For example, a study published by the Norwegian University of Science and Technology in 2010 shows that humor can prolong life. Scientists Sven Svebak examined 500,000 Norwegians over several years and found that the more humorous participants in the study were less likely to get sick and that they had, on average, a 20% longer lifespan. In 2014, the Robert Bosch Hospital in Stuttgart carried out a study with cardiac patients. For 7 weeks, the patients practiced reacting to stressful situations with humor rather than negative emotions such as aggression. During this time, they completed a stress questionnaire daily, and their cortisol levels were measured. The results show that humor training significantly reduced the patient's levels of stress. The result of a 3-part study on the influence of humor on stressful life events with psychological consequences was published in the Psychological and Social Psychology Bulletin in 2017. The first part examined fibromyalgia patients who suffer from chronic pain, sleep disorders, and psychological side effects. Students in general stressful situations were tested in the second part, and in the third part, students dealing with the events around 9/11 were tested. All subjects were able to demonstrate that humor helped them to better deal with the particular situation and to re-evaluate Humor often subverts expectations, and punchlines are often the result of an unexpected reversal. Being funny is possibly one of the best things you can do for your health. You can almost think of a sense of humor as your mind's immune system. People at risk for depression tend to fall into depressive episodes when exposed to greater self-competency, more control over anxiety, and better performance in social interactions. Not all kinds of humor are made equal, however. In the same study, the researchers identified 4 types of humor: affiliative humor, or humor designed to strengthen social bonds; self-enhancing humor, which is akin to having a humorous view of life in general; aggressive humor, such as mocking others; and self-defeating humor, in which an individual encourages jokes that have themselves as the target or self-deprecate. The positive contributions mentioned above only occurred when individuals scored highly in affiliative and self-enhancing humor, while aggressive and self-defeating humor was associated with poorer overall well-being and higher anxiety and depression. So, when cultivating your sense of humor, it's important to strive for the right kind. Besides, it's a crummy thing to make fun of others, anyhow. Another study measured people's performance on a brainstorming task and found that participants who were asked to come up with a New Yorker-style caption generated 20% more ideas than those who did not. Some might say that a sense of humor is inbred. It can't be learned. But how then would you explain the fact that children have to learn about jokes, especially wordplay? Since learning about humor is a part of language development and learning, it follows that one's sense of humor can be further developed as an adult. Truth seekers, let us know what you think about humor in the comment section below. Humor is observed in all cultures and at all ages. But only in recent decades has experimental psychology respected it as an essential, fundamental human behavior. Historically, psychologists framed humor negatively, suggesting it demonstrated superiority, vulgarity, Freudian conflict, or a defense mechanism to hide one's true feelings. In this view, an individual used humor to demean or disparage others, or to inflate one's own self-worth. As such, it was treated as an undesirable behavior to be avoided. And psychologists tended to ignore it as worthy of study. There are at least two reasons that we sometimes don't get the joke. First, the punchline must create a different mental representation that conflicts with the one set up by the joke. Timing and laugh tracks help signal the listener that a different representation of the punchline is possible. Second, you must be able to inhibit the initial mental representation. When jokes perpetuate a stereotype that we find offensive, as in ethnic, racist, or sexist jokes, we may refuse to inhibit the offensive representation. This incongruity model why older adults do not comprehend jokes as frequently as younger adults. Due to declines tied to the aging process, older adults may not have the cognitive resources needed to create multiple representations, to simultaneously hold them in their minds to detect the incongruity, or to inhibit the first one that was activated. Getting the joke relies on working memory capacity and control functions. However, when older adults succeed in their efforts to do these things, they typically show greater appreciation of the joke than younger adults do, and report greater life satisfaction than those who don't see the humor. There may be other aspects to humor, though, where older adults hold the advantage. Wisdom is a form of reasoning that increases with age and is correlated with subjective well-being. Humor is linked with wisdom. A wise person knows how to use humor or when to laugh at oneself. Additionally, intuition is a form of decision-making that may develop with the expertise and experience that come with aging. Like humor, intuition is enjoying a bit of a renaissance within psychology research now that it's been reframed as a major form of reasoning. Intuition aids humor in schema formation and incongruity resolution, and we perceive and appreciate the humor more through speedy first impressions rather than logical analysis. Truth seekers, we appreciate you and we implore you to hit that like button now. You waited till now. Why, the content was indeed good, thus hit the like button for your support or visit our Patreon link below for more intimate support.